Hello, magical one, and welcome to the final chapter of this eclipse season with the South Node being very, very close to this new moon. We have a Libra solar eclipse on Wednesday, October 2nd, and we have been going over these themes, these Libran themes and these Aries themes, because Libra and Aries, they live on the same axis. So we're really looking to find the balance between Aries, which is me, myself, and I, and Libra, which is us, which is we and the other. So that is what we're going to be exploring in this forecast video. I'm going to share the screen today so we can take a look at exactly what is happening in the sky right now. And you'll also be able to get a feel for and an understanding of where this is showing up in your personal birth chart. So if you are following along with your own birth chart, you will want to pay close attention to where the Libra sign is in your personal zodiac wheel. Now, if you don't have any planets in that sign, it doesn't matter. I don't have any planets in the Libra area of my chart, and I am feeling this whole eclipse season just so intensely. You might have Venus in a prominent place in your chart, which would be activated with the Libran energy. You might have the Libran energy showing up in a different way. It's just the birth charts are so complex, and even if you don't have planets or points, it's still showing up for you. We all experience these energies, even if these energies came through the lessons that we learned through wounding in our life, or lessons that we gathered from our family or our parents, or how we watched like our parents' relationship dynamics. It's all here for us to learn from and to grow from. So this is the chart for the new moon in Libra. So we're going to zoom in here to this Libra section where you can see we've got a stellium going on. When we talk about conjunctions or planets that are changing the energy of the other by being close together, we want them to be at least 10 degrees within an orb. So we have the South Node in Libra right now at 6 degrees. We have the Sun at 10 degrees, and this is the Wednesday chart for, the October 2nd Wednesday chart. We have the moon at 10 degrees, so here's that new moon exact conjunction. Black moon Lilith exactly conjunct this point, and 1 degree away is Mercury. So much energy in the Libra part of your chart. And let's look for a moment about what we've been exploring for almost 18 months. Now, right now, the North Node of the moon, which is the energy that we're growing and expanding into and we're learning about through often challenging lessons, is in Aries. So we're learning about our independence. We're learning about choosing our own selves, wanting what we want and going after it. We're learning about what's truly deeply important in our heart of hearts for our own personal journey outside of what others may wish from us or want from us or need from us. It is a very personal energy anytime we've got Aries. Now, the North Node is in Aries, so we've been exploring since almost, so I guess the nodes will change in January, so that's only a couple months away, right? So it's been like 15 months. 15 months of these lessons over a year. We're at like year and a half point of these lessons of independence, personal power, sovereignty, growth, choosing ourselves, and not settling because of someone else, because of what someone else wants from you, or what someone else's ideas of your life should look like. We've been learning these kind of lessons. That means that the South Node is the release, the letting go, the collapsing of that paradigm of the ways in which you have not chosen yourself in the past, the ways in which your relationships have been out of balance. And it doesn't just mean romantic relationships, but relationships in general, one on one with others. So that's the South Node energy. So as we've been in this portal of the Libra North Node and the Aries North Node, this is like eclipse brain that I have. So hopefully you are following my brain. The Aries North Node and the Libra South Node. So these out of balance energies in relationships are what have been getting cleansed out, cleared out, detoxed. And the eclipses always match up with the nodes. And here we are at this strange point because we have a new moon, which is a time for new beginnings, and it's the closing of the cycle of this eclipse. Now, it's a good thing to consider ways in which you have been held back by these out of balance Libran energies in your life up to this point, and reflect and revisit on just how much you have grown. Where in your life or how have these themes shown up? One of them is a lack of boundaries, where it's been a challenge in your life to be able to say no to certain people, certain experiences, certain things that are not in alignment with what you deeply and truly need, with what helps you maintain inner peace, inner serenity, inner balance. Where has lack of boundaries shown up and brought you out of your center? Where have you maybe absorbed other people's problems or negative energy? Have there been energy vampires that have shown up in your life until now? Now is this period where we're closing out that cycle on what we allowed in terms of where our boundaries were loose or soppy, soggy, and we're getting more clear on exactly what we need, how to support our own personal needs, how to care for ourselves, and therefore craft stronger boundaries so that we can feel more in alignment every day and we can feel healthy. Now, boundaries is a topic that we could seriously dive into for hours and hours. I'm just going to leave it there for now. If you are able to dive deeper with me at some point in your life, having stronger boundaries is a theme that shows up for almost everyone I've ever worked with astrologically. So I'm assuming that's also a lesson that you're growing with, especially over the past 15, 16 months. Part of this is wanting to maintain the peace at any cost. So, where in your life have you chosen peace over what is actually your point of view, peace over what you really need, peace over your own personal sanity, your own personal ability to stand up for yourself and what you believe in? Because this Libra energy, when it's out of balance, it just doesn't want to rock the boat and it wants to avoid conflict at any cost. And this is where lack of boundaries can seep in too. I don't want to say no. I don't want to upset these people. I don't want to upset my family or this community. So I'm just going to kind of sit on my hands and maintain the peace at any cost. And then one finds themselves in situations where they don't really want to be there, or there's like a lot of discomfort. A willingness to give up what you need and what you really want for the sake of maintaining connections with people is part of this maintaining the peace at any cost and this out of balance Libran energy. So we're learning to figure out our truth the deepest truth about what we need and what we really want, and then stand firm in those desires and stand firm in those truths instead of being lackadaisical with them and like letting them go so that you could be in a relationship with someone that you really want to be in a relationship with, or be in a community you wanted to be in, or be, someone who doesn't rock the boat in family. Another piece here of this out of balance Libran energy is assessing, like overly mental obsession, where you're assessing what is outside of yourself. You're assessing what's going on with other people. You're assessing what's happening with other people's emotions instead of putting your focus inward. And this is something that when we're working with this energy, we can really reflect on what happens when my energy is focused outside of me and with what other people are doing. Maybe I am comparing myself to someone else's path and someone else's journey. Maybe I am comparing where I'm at to where someone else is at that has a totally different journey and a totally different path and totally different birth chart than me. It could be you're overly assessing your family's needs or your partner's needs to the point of you're just draining your own energy outside of you. So we're wanting to bring the energy and bring the focus back inside, especially on this new moon. This new moon solar eclipse in Libra, it's a very internal energy, so that we have the energy to understand what we really want and what we really need right now, what you really want and what you really need. And you can connect to your individual sovereignty. The balance comes in learning to assert what you need in relationships, in healthy connections. And the lifelong lesson for anyone who has a lot of this Libra energy showing up in their chart or in their life experience is to understand that there is nothing that you could absolutely say or do. There's nothing you can say or do that is going to make the right person or people exit your life. I notice this pattern of there's a fear of speaking up for oneself, or fear of simply being honest because the other people or the other person might leave, they might abandon ship. And the truth is that when you are in a healthy relationship with other people or another person, truly you can be yourself on every level and say what you need to say and say what's on your heart. And it's only going to deepen your connection. You might ruffle feathers. It might be uncomfortable. It will be uncomfortable if these are energies that are uncomfortable for you. If you have a lot of Libra in your chart or you have a Venusian chart, Venus in Sun, Moon, Rising close to that area, totally normal. But we're learning to assert our needs so that we can have even healthier connections and we can be self-focused, not overly extreme Aries, it's all about me, but a balanced connection in relationships. Understanding that it's not your responsibility to keep the peace. It is not your responsibility to solve other people's problems. It is not your responsibility to fix, but it is your responsibility to align with what you need, align with your heart, align with what is in highest service to your own vision. And that taking of responsibility is honestly really, really challenging for a lot of people, because the MO, like the average mode of operation for most human beings, not us, right? Because we're on this spiritual journey, but it is to be a victim to circumstance. And that's just not the kind of astrology that I do. This is the astrology where fated events like the eclipses meet and marry free will. We're in control. And sometimes that is unsettling to understand that you totally have willpower. You totally can change. It can also be incredibly empowering. That's what we do in Kundalini. We get to this edge of discomfort. We know that we're not going to die. We're going to be okay. We stay in the discomfort and magical things happen. So if you're in the edge of the discomfort, or you're in the void, or you're even in the confusion, which is part of the Libran energy, like which way do I go? I am in my head, I'm analyzing everything. Come back into your body, come back into a place of centeredness, of quiet, however you like to do that, and the path will be revealed. Eclipses are a time where we if we're willing to surrender and we're willing to open our hearts to the cosmic forces that be, and we're not trying to hold on to what is wanting to be released and closed out and cleared out, really magical things happen as we cross those doorways and we step through the portal into what happens after the eclipse season. That's where so much magic happens. So if you've been going through it during this last month, girl, you're not alone. I am right there with you. Magical things are on the other side of what's been cleared out. Okay, so I'm opening the chart again to show the grand trine of water that is supporting this air energy. Now, air is all about the mind, it's all about the head. Libra is the thinking brain and the analysis and the weighing of our options. And when we're too far over in the brain and in the air element, we have our feet off the ground. We want to get our feet on the ground during this new moon. We want to feel grounded and earth, and we want to feel flowing, cleansing water. So Venus, who is the ruler of Libra and Taurus, but we're talking about Libra because we have this new moon in Libra. Venus is in Scorpio right now at 11 degrees. That's really going to set the stage for what this week is going to be like, because the planet Venus rules Libra as one of its zodiac signs. That means that there's a close supportive energy with the Scorpio archetype. Now, the Scorpio archetype is, there's three archetypes of Scorpio. The first one is the scorpion, who stings with the scorpion tail, who is, that's where we talk about our shadow work, where the shadow stuff's coming up, where our darker psyche energy lives. Then there's the phoenix rising from the ash as the next archetype, the second symbol of Scorpio. This phoenix has been through it. It knows what it's like to go through hard times. It knows that those hard times don't break you, they make you stronger. And it rises out of the fire, it rises out of the ash. The third archetype, the third symbol of Scorpio, is the eagle, who is looking down, detached. Not that it doesn't care, but it's detached from the chaos. It has risen above and it has learned. So the scorpionic forces of that eagle, that one that has been through the trenches and been through the muck and been through the intensity, the flood, the fear, the chaos, whatever it is, at whatever time in your life you've had those experiences, the Scorpio energy teaches us that we are capable of so much more than we think we're capable of. And it helps us rise into our resiliency higher than we ever thought that we could. And this powerful scorpionic energy is coming in on this new moon, this Libra new moon, to say, you have got this. You have so much more power than you realize, than you give yourself credit for. Lean into that power. Lean into the phoenix rising or the eagle flying. That seems aligned with the air energy of Libra. And know that whatever is clearing out or cleansing out, it is sacred. It is a sacred journey that you have gone through. It is karmic. Anytime we're talking about the eclipses, we are talking about old energies that have either been with us throughout our entire lifetime or lifetimes, through past life energies. So this is really, really powerful, the support that we have from Venus. Now, we also have the support of Black Moon Lilith, who is another nodal point. It's not actually a planet, it's just an astrological, mathematical point in the sky that symbolizes what we have repressed, what we have kept held down, what we have had shame around. And around something, it becomes your jail keeper. So there is a clearing out of the south node of shame as we move through this potent time. So when we think about the lower out of balance Libran energies that we talked about earlier, which are putting others in front of you, not having good boundaries, choosing others over yourself, not knowing what you really want, not being able to stand in your power, the shame that might be subtly vibrating around these themes is being cleared out just naturally on this south node eclipse through Black Moon Lilith. And as we clear out shame, we find so much of our inner resource, our inner reserves of power. Lilith is this archetype of the one that would not be controlled. Adam and Eve, Lilith came first. Lilith said, you know what, Adam, I don't, no, thank you. I am not of you. Lilith is not from Adam's rib, right? She's a totally separate entity. So she has this individuated power, and all of the divine feminine power is rising during this eclipse. So really powerful with Lilith, really powerful with Venus. There's a lot of divine feminine energy being balanced, which means that divine masculine energy is also being balanced. Just like when Libra balances, Aries balances, because there's an axis. Same with feminine and masculine energies. Now, Venus here with Scorpio, you can see this triangle, this blue triangle. That's because there's a grand water trine during this week. We have Venus in Scorpio aligning with Saturn, the planet of our personal responsibility, our personal sovereignty, our spiritual lessons in Pisces, and a line trine connecting to Mars, which is the masculine energy. The polarity between Venus and Mars is the polarity between the Venusian receptive energies, the yin, and the yang energies, the masculine doing, fighting, action taking energies. So there is supportive energies to balance our masculine and feminine. And that's going to look different for each person that watches this recording, right? So the Libra part of your chart's important, but so are your water signs. Water signs, all three water signs are being activated and supported right now. And again, that's going to look different for how it plays out in your life. But when I think about water signs, I think about how we nurture ourselves, how we care for ourselves, how we heal, how we cleanse. So doing things that are water element related is going to help us flow with ease and grace as we move through this week. That means taking baths, hot baths if that's in your vibe, or swimming in the ocean, or even, just paying attention to your hydration, paying attention to, or bringing your intention inward to the water in your body, to the cells in your body, to the blood, to the liquid that makes up like over 75% of your being. We are mostly liquid. Our bodies are mostly liquid. So I think sound bath, listening to healing frequency that will align with the vibration of your body. And that's very Libran too. Music, listening to healing frequencies, and just being aware of how you can soothe yourself this week. This is less of a week to like go and do and act, and more of a week to continue to soothe and rebalance your central nervous system and your mind. Because for most people, all of September has been like a lot. And I might be projecting. It's been a lot for me. I'd love to hear that it was a lot for you, so I know I'm not alone. But I also have heavy cardinal energy in my chart. So if you have Libra, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, that's heavy cardinal energy. A lot's been going on for you. I'm going to pause there and leave you with some inquiry. And you don't have to answer the questions, just let them drop into your psyche and into your water, into your cells, into your inner being. So the inquiry is, what part of my life, and you could just ask yourself this, just kind of put the question in like a pebble dropping into water. What part of my life wants more balance? And what can I do now to bring more peace into my life? And do I allow myself to want what I really want? Do I allow my relationships with others to impact or change what I truly want? And how can I bring the focus back to my life, myself, and what I really value? I'm going to leave you with that. If you have questions, you have comments, you want to get in contact with me, put it in the comments, and I would love to connect with you. Have a beautiful, bountiful, blissful new moon, and I will see you on the other side.